Hey everyone, Anar is flowering. Stop scrolling. Here is what you must check before it fruits. As you know, the plant need best care at the time of started flowering because this is the time plant attract pest, pest attacks and all the problems while starting the flowering. This is the toughest time for the every plant while plant is converting flower into fruit or started the flowering, so we need to take care more than whole the life because this starts smelling, that is just like a fragrance for the insects they attract. So we are describing what the problems creates and with the solutions what we need to take care about any problem and with the solutions whatever the pest whatever the other problems we will take with example as I'm growing an hour at home garden and this is the second time we are just taking the fruits with my anar and some other fruits all all are in good shapes and we have successfully grown and harvested last year. So this is the success story. We already grown anjeer, anar, mangoes, some other fruits and with the natural sources. So I'll show what I did with the plants that they are fruiting much better than you think. The problem number one, flower drop. If your flower are dropping off without forming it, it could be due to much water or lack of pollination. First, we need to understand about the flowers drop because if in bulk fruit drop are there, then we need to understand what kind of the flowers anar fruits contain. These three types of the flowers that on anar, that is one is female flowers that convert into the fruit. Second one is male flowers. This never convert into fruit. Third one is intermediate flowers. This also not converted into fruit. So as you know, out of three types of flowers, only female flowers convert into the fruits. So understand the fruit drop. If there is a real problem, then you can use the remedy for it. If in very low quantity the flowers drop, that you can understand the male flowers by seeing this and female flowers by seeing. If female flowers are dropping, then this is the cause of number of the cause and number of the reasons, so you need to take some remedy for it. But if the male flowers is dropping and intermediate flowers are dropping, these kind of the flowers are made for the dropping only, so this is not a problem. So problem is if female flowers is dropping without converting in the fruit, this is the problem. So we will understand the second one the problem now, because you now understand what kind of the flowers anar content. So the second problem is pest and insect. This is the very crucial problem because when pest attack, this can destroy all the fruits. This is the major problem, especially the aphid and fruit borers, and some other issues are also there. So use while your anar is starting flowering, then you use neem oil spray in every 15 days. But if flowers is perfectly, then you should not use, because now this is the time of the pollination should be started. Pollination through the bees, through the home bees, through the air also, because when plants shaking in airs, this also help in pollination. So pollination is not any big issue if your plant having the good nutrition. The main problems may be pest, as we already told. Next one is overwatering. Never do overwatering, because the plants who are big in size, they want to stay steady, not soggy. The soil. Now we can see the example on yesterday storms, as we planted some moringa plants, and most of the plants are okay after the storm, but one plant broken down because there was a problem with the soil. There was a water stored in the roots, around the roots. So there is a reason, you can understand, there is a reason the plants that are in big size, they want to stay steady, because in storm they can bear the storm and other problems they can afford. Main problem most of the people don't know, this is using heavy nitrogen while your plant is flowering. While your plant is flowering, the plant need potassium and phosphorus in major quantity and very less quantity nitrogen. If you give urea and some others nitrogen, that time that your plant is flowering, that directly mean plant start growing and generating new leaves, and will forget for the flowering converting into the fruits. There is a main problem with giving the nitrogen to your plant while plant start flowering. The other major problem people do not want to understand, this is most problem while your plant is flowering, this is sunlight. Every plant need much sunlight. This is the reason you need to prune your plant, just like that every leaves should exposure have good exposure of sunlight. This can create the fruit in major quantity. That means this can be helpful for your pollination, generating, converting flowers into fruit. And Anar plant need minimum 6 to 8 hours of full sunlight for bearing good fruits. The next problem is your flowers are not converting into the fruit. This is using chemical fertilizer at the wrong time, that already told in previous lines, because while flowering you need potassium, phosphorus much rather than the nitrogen. Nitrogen not needed while your plant is flowering, and less water need while flowering. Less water doesn't mean no water. Less water, that means you need to make your soil soggy. That's the next one. I always use, and I love to do this. This is mulching. Every plant I have, uh, most of the time I do mulching. What mulching do indirectly? It control the temperature of your soil that is needed to your plant. keeping the soil moist. And the another big benefit that people doesn't know, yeah, when we can say the people don't know, this is much important because when we do mulching, the temperature of upper soil keep down, so Burmese and other insects that are beneficial for your soil always in activity to make the fertilizers for your plant. This is much needed than the other thing. And other benefit is this is slowly releasing the nutrition for your plant. So mulching, what why this is important? Because Burmese, if you do not use the mulching, that means Burmese will go down in the earth and they would not active in the soil and they will not release the fertilizer as you buy from the market vermicompost. That is the same. If you do the mulching, that means क्या है? Some other reasons also important, just like a sudden climate change. If all of sudden the climate change, that plants sometime not afford this climate changes, so they can drop the fruits. And the other one is overcrowded, because the people, most of the people know my plant is overcrowded, umbrella type, they become the very happy, but it is not the time to be happy because you need to prune, shaping your plant, that every leaves of your plant should have exposure of sunlight, not make your plant branches crowdy. This may impact photosynthesis. The other reason also important, not supporting the branches, because big branches can't afford the big fruits. So that is the reason fruit plants also drop the fruits, because they can't bear the big fruits on the big branches. So you need to give them support. Now come to the conclusion. Finally, we will discuss what are the remedies while plant is flowering. Then what remedy we can use for stopping fruit drop. One is sunlight, full sun daily. Second one, watering deep, not daily. Next one is pest check weekly or daily you can check. Light pruning, it's very important. Heavy pruning shouldn't do. Heavy pruning can impact your plant strength. And one more thing you need to take care while your plant is flowering, you stop the pruning. You do the pruning while harvesting. Sorry, after harvesting. Next one is support fruits. Definitely, it's important. This is the remedies in a very short.